Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we're diving deep into a topic that touches so many of us: low self-esteem. We're going to unpack the signs of low self-esteem, because the first step to healing is understanding. Watch, share, and subscribe for more videos on courage, vulnerability, and wholehearted living. One of the most common signs of low self-esteem is a relentless inner critic. It's that voice inside your head that constantly picks apart your flaws, magnifying every mistake and minimizing your accomplishments. You might find yourself replaying situations over and over, focusing on what you did wrong or could have done better. And here's the heartbreaking part: when someone offers a genuine compliment, it's almost impossible to accept. Instead of receiving it with grace, you deflect, downplay, or flat out reject it. This struggle to accept positive feedback stems from a deep-seated belief that you're just not worthy of praise. It's like there's a disconnect between what others see in you and what you perceive in yourself. This constant self-criticism can be incredibly draining, leaving you feeling inadequate, unworthy, and defeated. But here's the thing: you are not your mistakes. You deserve to treat yourself with the same kindness and compassion you would offer to a dear friend. When your self-esteem is low, the world can feel like a scary, overwhelming place. Social situations in particular can become a source of immense anxiety. You might find yourself avoiding social gatherings, canceling plans at the last minute, or even withdrawing from loved ones. This withdrawal is often driven by a fear of judgment. You might worry that others are constantly evaluating you, finding you lacking, or whispering about your perceived flaws. This fear can be so paralyzing that it feels easier to simply avoid social situations altogether. But here's the catch-22. Isolation only reinforces negative self-beliefs. When you withdraw from others, you miss out on opportunities for connection, support, and validation. If you're struggling with social withdrawal, it's important to remember that you are not alone. Start by taking small steps to re-engage with the world. Low self-esteem often goes hand in hand with excessive worrying. Your mind races with anxious thoughts, replaying past conversations, anticipating future scenarios, and obsessing over what others might be thinking. You might find yourself constantly seeking reassurance from others, needing constant validation to quiet the storm of self-doubt raging within. This need for external validation stems from a lack of belief in your own worthiness and judgment. This overthinking can be utterly exhausting, leaving you feeling drained, overwhelmed, and emotionally depleted. It's important to remember that you cannot control other people's thoughts or opinions. Instead of getting swept away in a tide of worry, practice grounding techniques, like deep breathing or mindfulness, to bring yourself back to the present moment. You have the power to choose which thoughts you want to entertain and which ones you want to let go of. Imagine this: you receive a genuine compliment from a friend or colleague. Instead of accepting it with a simple thank you, you deflect, downplay, or completely reject the compliment. Sound familiar? Difficulty accepting positive feedback is a hallmark of low self-esteem. It's as if there's an invisible barrier preventing you from internalizing praise and allowing it to nourish your sense of self. This resistance often stems from a deep-seated belief that you're not worthy of praise or that you haven't truly earned it. You might minimize your accomplishments, attributing them to luck, timing, or external factors, rather than acknowledging your own efforts and abilities. The next time you receive a compliment, try this. Take a deep breath, look the person in the eye, and simply say thank you. Allow yourself to receive the compliment without resistance. Fear of failure is a universal human experience, but for those with low self-esteem, it can be utterly crippling. It's a fear that runs so deep, so pervasive, that it can prevent you from pursuing your dreams, taking risks, or even trying new things. The fear itself is rooted in a belief that you're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough to succeed. This fear can manifest in countless ways: procrastination, perfectionism, self-sabotage, and an overall avoidance of anything that feels challenging or uncertain. But here's the liberating truth: failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone on the path to growth. Every mistake, every setback, every failure is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and become more resilient. Embrace the unknown, celebrate your efforts, and remember that your worthiness is not contingent upon your accomplishments. Our thoughts have incredible power. They shape our beliefs, influence our emotions, and ultimately determine the course of our lives. But what happens when those thoughts are predominantly negative, self-critical, and downright cruel? Negative self-talk, that relentless inner critic we discussed earlier, is a hallmark of low self-esteem. You might find yourself focusing on your flaws, dwelling on past mistakes, or predicting future failures. This negative self-talk can chip away at your self-worth, leaving you feeling inadequate, unworthy, and defeated. The first step to overcoming negative self-talk is awareness. Start paying attention to the thoughts that run through your mind, especially when you're feeling down or insecure. Once you're aware of the negative self-talk, you can start to challenge and reframe those thoughts. When your self-esteem is low, it can be challenging to assert your needs, express your opinions, or set healthy boundaries. You might find yourself saying yes when you really want to say no, avoiding conflict at all costs, or allowing others to walk all over you. This lack of assertiveness often stems from a fear of displeasing others, a belief that your needs are not important, or a deep-seated fear of rejection or abandonment. You might worry that if you speak up, you'll be perceived as selfish, demanding, or confrontational, so you stay silent, stuffing down your feelings, and betraying your own needs in the process. But here's the thing. Assertiveness is not about being aggressive or demanding. It's about communicating your needs and boundaries clearly and respectfully, while also honoring the needs and boundaries of others. Start by setting small, achievable goals for yourself. Maybe it's speaking up more in meetings, saying no to a request that doesn't align with your priorities, or expressing your opinion more freely. Remember, your voice matters. Perfectionism. It's a word often lauded as a positive attribute, a sign of ambition, drive, and a commitment to excellence. But beneath the surface of this seemingly desirable trait lies a darker side, one often fueled by low self-esteem and a relentless pursuit of the unattainable. When your self-worth is tied to achieving an impossible standard of perfection, you set yourself up for a never-ending cycle of striving, stress, and self-criticism. You become so fixated on avoiding mistakes and masking any perceived flaws that you lose sight of the joy in the journey. Perfectionism can lead to burnout, anxiety, and a deep sense of dissatisfaction, no matter how much you achieve. The key to overcoming perfectionism is to redefine success. It's about embracing imperfection, celebrating progress over perfection, and learning to be kind to yourself along the way. Remember, you are enough, just as you are. If you've resonated with any of the signs we've explored, please know that you're not alone. Low self-esteem is a common struggle, often rooted in experiences that have left us feeling unworthy or inadequate. But here's the powerful truth. You have the power to rewrite the narrative. Building self-esteem is a journey, not a destination. It's about challenging negative self-talk, practicing self-compassion, setting healthy boundaries, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support you. Remember, you are worthy of love, belonging, and joy, and you have the power to create a life that reflects your inherent worth.